Hey, what's up, everybody? Pat here, Great for Recovering Alcoholic and Addict, just like every day. Guys, please don't forget to subscribe, leave the video a like, drop me a comment, and by all means, share it with anybody you think might get something out of it. Other than that, how we doing today, guys? Happy Monday. It's a good Monday. I actually had my helper come in on a Monday, which is rare, but I asked him to take a day off from his regular job so that we could finish up the big job. We went and finished up the deck job, buttoned up all the stuff from that kitchen remodel. I just handed the customer the final invoice for that. It feels good. It's made good money in that job. But I actually gave the customer a great break, and she's already lined up. She wants me to replace all the windows in her house, remodel a bathroom as soon as I'm done with the three-family house we're doing, so she can build up some more money to do it. But like, life is good today, guys. Yeah, not bad. It was a nice weekend. Nice Monday. I'm learning to find balance. The reading today is going to be about balance, and something that's very important. Something that I find very important. It's amazing to me that I work less now than I ever have, and I make so much more than I ever have. And a big part of that is because I give myself balance. So when I do work, I do better work faster, and I make more money for it. Of course, working for myself makes a big difference. Instead of collecting a paycheck, I'm collecting invoices. But if I wasn't putting my recovery first, if I wasn't going to the gym, if I wasn't working with my sponsor, if I wasn't doing my videos, I wouldn't have all these things in my life. And that's a beautiful thing. For once in my life, I'm not being a workaholic. I'm actually living a life, and it's a lot. I do a lot more now than I ever did, but it's beautiful because I enjoy myself today, and I'm happy today, and I'm not driving myself into the ground, and I'm literally making 5 times more money than I've ever made in my life, and that's like so counterintuitive, but it works so well. Balance is important, guys. We want to maintain, we want to sustain the things that we're building. And if we don't find balance in our life, find a good balance between home, family, recovery, work, and enjoyment, you're going to burn out, or you're just not going to enjoy yourself, and you're going to be at risk of a relapse. So we're going to get into the reading. We'll go from there, guys. Balancing the Scales is the title of the Just for Today NA meditation. Balancing the scales. A lot of our chief concerns and major difficulties come from our inexperience with living without drugs. Often, when we ask an old-timer what to do, we are amazed at the simplicity of the answer. Finding balance in recovery is quite a bit like sitting down with a set of scales and a pile of sand. The goal is to have an equal amount of sand on each side of the scales, achieving a balance of weight. Well, we do the same in recovery. We sit down with the foundation of our clean time in the 12 steps. Then we attempt to add work, household responsibilities, friends, spouses, relationships, meetings, and service in equal weights so that the scales balance. Our first try may throw our personal scales out of kilter. We may find that because of our over-involvement with service, we have upset our boss or our family. But when we try to correct this by eliminating service and recovery altogether, the other side of the scale goes out of balance. Well, we can ask for help from other members who have balanced their own scales. These people are easily recognized. They appear serene, composed, and self-assured. They'll smile in recognition of our dilemma and share how they slowed down, added only a few grains at a time to either side of the scales, and were rewarded with balance and recovery. The affirmation is just for today. I seek balance in my life. I will ask others to share their experience in finding balance. And that's, some of these things get a little corny when you think about them, but the idea is to take the ideas from them and then apply it to your life. And for me, I'm happy I did, because as a matter of fact, it's funny, the timing of some of these things. And I'm a little dirty, so sorry, guys. Should have washed up. Just as I get home this afternoon, and again, I'm doing the video early tonight because I'm taking the third of 4-part class to put the wreckage of my past behind me. It's going to open up a huge door, and I'm going to talk more about this as I'm done. So as I was getting back early, I had to make sure I get the job done. I had a couple of service calls, got those done, getting back, unloading my truck, unloading the tools, so I could get in here and do my video before taking my class. That's finding a balance in and of itself. I had to move some jobs around. And I didn't make, I didn't produce as much as I could have today, but that's okay because it'll be there tomorrow. Further, I got a nice compliment as I was walking in. There's a woman who owns a gym right next to my house, and I do her snow removal and some construction work for her from time to time. And as she was walking on the sidewalk, so I came around the corner, And she just come up and she just dabbed me up, and she's like, Jesus Christ, look at you. She's like, how big are you gonna get? Because she's known me for years, and she used to seeing me at 130, 140 pounds, all strung out, and I could walk around the corner at 220 today, and she's just like, Jesus Christ, you're as big as a house. What are you doing? And she knows I lift a lot. She knows I go to the gym. She goes, what are you benching these days? And I'm like, 415. And she's just like, my God. And again, warning, like, you got to go easy. Like, you're going to hurt yourself. But still, she was just super impressed, and we had a good laugh. And she's like, are you going to shred and cut? And I'm like, yeah, it's summertime. I typically drop 10 or 15 pounds in the summertime, just because I'm much more active. It's hotter out, lose some of the appetite. But I plan on, dropping 10 pounds or just leaning down a little bit over the summer, but we'll see what happens. But it's amazing that I'm able to, the point of that being is like, yeah, I'm about the heaviest I've ever been in my life right now. I'm by far the strongest I've ever been. And I'm only going to the gym 4 days a week, and I'm not spending more than an hour at a time there because I've learned to be more efficient. And that's from working these, working my recovery program, practicing these principles in all of my affairs, right? I look at the totality. Before, guys, I couldn't have a social life. I was a workaholic, and I still couldn't pay bills. Today I pay all my bills. I banked a shocking amount of money, but yet tomorrow morning I have a celebration with my friend Marlene's birthday party. She's speaking in a meeting, so I'm taking the afternoon off to go listen to her share, and then go out to lunch with a bunch of my fellow recovery members to celebrate her birthday. Wednesday morning, I have a dentist appointment to get my implants put in. And then I got my doctor appointment for my final Sublocade injection. Then I have my final class. So I move work around. And I'm still going to make it to the gym tomorrow morning like I always do on a Tuesday morning. My whole life was always like, I talk about this a lot. I always have one track. I'd focus on one thing, and that's all I could do. And as long as I could manage to keep that afloat, I would feel like I had some sort of success in my life. Yet the rest of my life would be burning down because I wasn't paying attention to anything but one thing, because I couldn't handle more. My whole life and all my energy was tied up in finding ways to use, and then finding ways and means to get more drugs. Just like they talk about in recovery. It's the absolute truth. All the energy that I freed up by not chasing drugs and not getting high, I realized I was at risk of that, so I'm like, no, I'm not going to be a workaholic. So that's why when I got out of rehab, I called my boss. I was working with somebody else at the time, and I'm like, I'm not coming back for 4 or 5 days. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, no, I got to go set up my IOP. I got to set up my doctors. I need to get the dentist. I got to set up a dermatologist appointment. I got to set up my therapy appointments. I got to set my recovery coach appointments. I found a way, because I promised myself I'm not going to be a workaholic. I'm going to find balance. I went and I joined the gym, and I'm still working with all those people. Still working my LP, the same people. Still working my doctors, Sublocade. I'm over it. My last appointment is Wednesday. Still working with my therapist. Still working with my recovery coach. She's now my recovery advisor because I've graduated on. I've taken classes. I'm taking 2 classes at Harvard University. I've completed one. I'm taking another night course at Harvard. I'm taking these classes for to get rid of the wreckage of my past. And I still find time to go to the gym, 4 days a week, and then go down to Fresh Pond on the weekends and do a meditation. I meet with my sponsor once a week, and we sit down and we do step work. My life is booked and busy, but it's full, and it's full of quality things today because I find balance. And then to boot, you hear me talk about in the video all the time. Saturday I came home, it was raining. Boom, I was tired. I took a nap. I put self-care ahead of everything else today, guys. And it shows. If you think I'm just talking these stuff, guys, if you question this for a second, go back and look at, I've done about almost 500 videos now over the course of 16 months. Go back and look at my first couple of videos, or any of the first couple of months. You'll be amazed that it's the same person. You can see it's me, but you'll see the difference. I look so much younger and healthier now. Not that I look young, I'm in my 50s, but I look like I was 70 when I started doing these videos, and I was still like very strung out and very scrawny. Like, I've managed to find balance, and because I do, I'm healthier. I have a peace of mind. I have a clarity of mind. I have a mental acuity that I've never had. I'm financially stable in ways I never dreamed I could be. I've got a level of self-respect that I've never known. I've got a social media channel that I'm building that I'm so incredibly proud of. This thing is very small by YouTube channels, But I started this with 0 subscribers, and over 16 months, we're coming up on like 27, over 2,700. I've built a foundation here that I'm incredibly proud of, and none of this would be the case if I hadn't strived to find balance. And another way I do that is journaling, like we talked about in a video a couple days ago. When I write my inventory out at the end of the night, I go back and I look at these things, and I'm like, that's where I realize, because I'm like, oh, I focus a lot on my business, because I'm building a business. I mean, I've just started a business from the ground up, and it's thriving. Yet I make sure that I don't work past 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon unless it's an emergency service call. And if that's the case, I'll start an hour late the next day. Like, I find balance in my life today because I force myself to. It's not easy. My predisposition is always work. I enjoy work. It makes me feel good about myself, and especially now where I've got all this work coming in. I could be making triple what I'm making right now, but I would burn myself out. I've seen it happen, and I've done it over and over again. So I force myself to pace myself. And then I come home and I cook a full cooked meal. Because again, if I'm working till 8 o'clock at night, now I'm like, oh, I'll just stop for fast food. And now I'm not eating good, and I'm not going to be as healthy as I am. It takes everything I'm doing to keep me at the level I'm at. Not that I'm something special, but I'm by far the healthiest I've ever been, the strongest I've ever been, the happiest I've ever been. I'm not going to compare myself with some 25-year-old or some 75-year-old, because it'd be out of balance and out of kilter. And it would be a thief of reality. The only equitable equation comparison will give you is comparing yourself from where you were to where you're going to where you are to where you're going, And I do that. And I see that it's working remarkably well because I'm striving to find balance. And again, I'm not trying to take all the credit. I've also taken, first and foremost, I don't start my day. I won't speak to another human being until I've finished saying my prayers, done my morning meditation. And again, the last thing I do at night before I go to bed, the last person I talk to is God. I say my prayers and I do my night meditation, then sleep hypnosis, subliminal hypnosis reprogram while I sleep. I find time and ways for all these things. And again, when I feel like I'm overdoing it, I'll take a day off. I don't take a lot of days off, but I'll take a day off here and there. Or I'll take an afternoon off and just come home and just chill. Shut off the TV, shut off the video, shut off the phone, and just relax for a couple hours. Because self-care is incredibly important. If I don't take care of myself, nobody else is gonna. If I allow people to run me ragged and just determine where and when I'll be where and when, then they will. And then I'll lose out, and I'll burn out, and I won't sustain. God has given me this amazing opportunity, this comeback run like nobody's ever seen. And my buddy Jimmy, who I used to work with, and now he works for me whenever I need him, we were talking the way back, and he's like, yeah, honestly, he goes, I look at you, and he goes, I get mad at myself because I know if I really put the effort into it, I could do it too. But I just don't, because it's easy at the job, and it's this. And at the end of the day, I love Jimmy. He's a great guy. But that's why he's got to have, he comes and he works for me. He could do it. It's a decision, and I'm not picking on him. Everybody has the chance. I've decided, and part of that was having this channel. It's something I wanted so desperately bad, but I didn't know how to do it. And I'm like, well, I'm going to make it about recovery. And then God started rewarding me, and I said, all right, I get an opportunity to show what's possible in a comeback run in recovery. That's what I'm going to document, but it keeps me doing it. And again, and if I make it all about finances, then I'll just work till I burn out. And then I wouldn't be putting up record amounts at the gym, and I wouldn't be building the social media brand, and I wouldn't be having the relationships I have through my recovery meetings. I wouldn't be meeting new people every week. Guys, finding balance is so important. We've got to love the life that we're living. I make time for my family. We talk every single day. Like, they hadn't heard from me in decades. I'm a part of their lives today, and that feels really good. These things occasionally bring tears to my eyes, right? Because I was depraved. I was deprived of them. I've deprived myself of them for so incredibly long. And there are times that I get overwhelmed. And when I realize I'm getting overwhelmed, I don't like that feeling. So I stop and I step back and I'm just honest with people. And that's the other thing, guys. I was always afraid to tell somebody no. No is a complete sentence, and I have to be able to. And if they ask me why, I just tell them, because listen, I'm doing too much and I need time for myself, because if I don't, I'll burn out and end up back on drugs. Nobody wants me around when I'm on drugs. Well, everybody wants me around when I'm sober, so I have to find that happy balance in the middle. I can't be the hero in everybody's life. I have a service business. I own a couple of service businesses at this point. I've got a lot of opportunities, a lot of new customers, but I have to draw the line somewhere. And finding balance is how I do that. I make sure I don't take on more work. I keep a notebook, the schedule of a schedule. I don't schedule more than 3 or 4 service calls. I leave room for other things. When I'm doing a big job, I let people know, no, I can't make it. I'm going to be here all day. I can be there tomorrow. If it's an emergency, I'll make an exception because I do take emergency calls. But you have to learn to find balance so that you can love the life you're living. Make time for service. Make time for recovery. Make time for your higher power. Make time for self-care. Make time for your family. You can do all these things, guys. But you got to do it in equal parts, which means you can't do way too much of one thing and you can't do too little of something else. You've got to find an equal mix and equal balance that you can sustain and that's moving you forward in life. And that's the idea of it all, so that you can love the life you're living and respect the person you're becoming. Guys, that's the video for today. Thank you so much for being here with me. Always remember, God loves you. I love you. We'll see you in the next one.